Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Today, we got some pretty exciting news. The companion rule was just announced to be updated. Today is June the 1st. They changed it so that in order to have access to your companion from your sideboard, you have to pay 3 generic mana to then put your companion into your hand. Obviously, this is a very big change to all the formats that companion was played in, which was pretty much all of them. And we're expecting a lot of changes here for the Magic Online meta, but actually, this doesn't actually come into effect until June the 3rd for the rules update. So, regardless, I still wanted to put out some content, so we'll see exactly how this goes. We might end up having to get recompensated for this league or something along those lines, but regardless, I still wanted to put some content out. I made a few updates to this list, just some things to test out, and I'll cover them in just one second. But yeah, my plan was to get in, play some games with some Primeval Titans, and if anybody's still playing their companions to get the last kind of hurrah, Titan's a good deck to prey on those, I would say. So, anyways, the first couple changes that I have made is the inclusion, firstly, the inclusion of a Sakura Tribe Scout over a copy of Ancient Stirrings. You may or may not have noticed, but I tend to sideboard out Ancient Stirrings quite a lot, and for that reason, I felt that it would be safe to go ahead and trim a copy or two. I thought about cutting 2, but I'm not sure that Sakura Tribe Scout is powerful enough to warrant an additional copy when we're already playing 4 Arboreal Grazers. We'll see how the meta shakes up. If it is not as aggressive as before, it might be right to switch back to Tribe Scout entirely over Grazer. I'm still expecting Mono Red Prowess to be popular as it was before the companion meta came along in the first place. But anyways, for the time being, I'm just going with 1 Scout and trimming that 1 Stirring. And then in the mana base, there's a little bit of an edit. So instead of the second Selesnya Sanctuary, I'm opting to go for a 1 of Crumbling Vestige. This is in part to go along with the addition of the Tribe Scout. We have an extra way to play any of our 1-drops on turn 1, including a way to make green mana. Secondly, it does some useful things with a Dryad in play, like being able to get a Crumbling Vestige, float a color, and then tap it for another color, for example, to activate a Slayer Stronghold. Allows you to keep an extra land in play for the purposes of something like Field of the Dead or Valakut. But mainly it's there as a way to generate some colored mana and have a land that stays in play early in the game, so like it can play a 1-drop on turn 1, it can double as a bounce land when you need it to. It does some interesting things with Primeval Titan and Dryad, so I figured might as well give it a shot. And then over here on the sideboard, I have cut the 1 copy of Chameleon Colossus that I have played in the past couple leagues. I just haven't found it to be particularly useful. I don't think I ever actually kept it in play. Maybe for 1 game, but generally it just didn't do what it was intended to. And maybe it's because the decks that were popular in the Lurrus meta were playing a lot of red. So like running into a Bolt plus a Seal of Fire activation, for example, was very annoying. The Chameleon Colossus wasn't really able to attack into or really pressure an opponent who was playing things like Monastery Swiftspear and Soulscar Mage, and those were very popular cards. So it's possible that in the new meta, the Chameleon Colossus might get the nod. But up until then, we're working with instead a 3rd copy of Negate. I did encounter Ad Nauseam. Ad Nauseam had been on the upswing, and I've found Negate to be useful in other matchups like the Tron matchup or control matchups. So I figured I saw another person playing 3 copies of Negate. I'm not sure exactly who, but I decided I'd give that a shot. And so everything else is the same. There's potential to include this pack negation in the main board, say over an Ancient Stirrings or something. But and I mean, that is definitely valid considering there are a few times in game 1s and previous parts of the league where I could have set up a line to search for pack negation, but generally it always felt like overkill, and I'd rather just have it in the sideboard, I think, for the time being. So with that said, I'm just gonna jump into a league. All right, we're on the play. It'll be interesting to see if our opponent is playing a companion here. This is one of the last few days for them to do so. This hand looks pretty good to me. Turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Explore, turn 3 Dryad. Yeah, I like it. We can actually, if we happen to draw a green source, we can play Stirrings on turn 2 after we play the Explorer as well. We'll play our Amulet. Alright, so looks like we're playing against a discard Lurrus deck here. Yep. This probably takes the Dryad, I would imagine. Explore's quite good here, especially in the case that they take the Dryad, so I'm not super worried about that. This Garenbrig is going to ramp us to an early Titan anyways, as long as we are able to find a bounce land, so... Ooh, they take the Explorer. Interesting. Well... Go ahead and get this castle into play, and I think I'm going to go ahead and Stirrings now. If we find a bounce land... Oh, well, we did find an Amulet. We did not find a bounce land. I kind of want to take the Talaria West here because the second Amulet doesn't do anything in the absence of a bounce land, and we don't yet have a Titan. It's going to be a little hard to transmute this, but I mean, I think it's our best bet. Yeah. Guess that's it. I imagine we'll run into quite a few companion decks in the meantime until the changes take effect. So yeah, we'll play out our guy here. Go ahead and get this force into play so we have Titan mana next turn. Although it wasn't really going to matter, since the order that we use these in doesn't really make a difference. So if we top deck a Titan, even if our Dryad dies, we can just play it. If our Dryad doesn't die and we don't top deck a Titan, we can transmute Talaria West, and that way we'll have a Titan lined up. If we top deck a bounce land, we can and it taps for blue, then we can transmute. Oh, okay. Well, this is an interesting choice because if we discard the Talaria West, we're potentially discarding our way to get a Titan. But if we keep the Ghost Quarter, then we can cast a Titan next turn if we draw it. I think it might be better to have a guaranteed Titan. So I'm going to discard the Ghost Quarter. It's definitely lower upside, but... Grazer. Okay. Well, I'm going to hold that one in hand to protect against, say, a Croxa or something. And we're going to transmute this TOS now. We don't really have a choice. Get a Summoner's Pact. We'll swing. If our opponent casts an Inquisition, then we can actually Summoner's Pact in response and get a Titan and play around it that way. If we had one extra land, there could have been an argument to transmute for Valakut there, play Valakut land, and kill the Dark Confidant. Or even just shoot their face. But... Okay. This is an interesting one. I guess they have a Seal of Fire or something like that. Yep. Well, if we draw an untapped land, we have a Titan, so... Even a Crumbling Vestige works here, where a Selesnya Sanctuary would not. Oh, that's an untapped land. Let's just name Giant here, I guess. Not that it makes a huge difference. So here's our Titan. What are we getting, though? We already used one T-West. We could get T-West and a blue bounce land, but then we still would need to find a way to pick up the bounce land. Against this Dark Confidant, I kind of just want to get Field of the Dead going. It could be Field of the Dead and Bojuka Bog. I don't really think that's necessary. I'm not really scared of the Seal of Fire. Huh. We are going to have to pay for our pact as well. I think it's just going to be T-West plus Growth Chamber. I'm not really sure, though. Because if we get T-West plus Field, we won't have enough blue sources to transmute T-West if we draw a bounce land. And there's not really another relevant card to get in the absence of Tolaria West, so... Odd spot. It could be T-West plus Breeding Pool. And that way, if we draw a bounce land, then we can transmute. Yeah, I guess that's best. It's the best way to play around... It's the best way to play around them having a removal spell, I think. I mean, we know they have the Maelstrom Pulse, so... I don't know, maybe it would have been better to get Field there, I'm not really sure. I mean, we haven't drawn a single bounce land, so... Now, the Crumbling Vestige would punish us, because if it were Selesnya Sanctuary, we could pick up the Tolaria West, but... It's definitely possible we should have just gotten Field here, but... Ah, there's a bounce land. So, I think we need to transmute now so that we can play our Titan this upcoming turn. Actually, we don't. We can play the Growth Chamber and pick up the T-West and have 1, 2, 3 to transmute and 1, 2, 3, 4 to activate. So we can hold the T-West in hand. And the only way that they can actually beat that is with Kroxa. So I think this is going to be the line. Kroxa and another Kolaghan's Command, which they've already seen 2 of. So... Tight game. Tight game. Still not sure that this line was actually better than the than a line that involved Field. But we're running 6s. Not really doing much here. They should probably play the Scavenging Ooze and try to get above a life total where they could lose to their own Dark Confidant. But they don't, so... Okay, well there's the Scavenging Ooze, but they're not going to really be gaining any life off of it. So now we'll definitely be setting up a Field of the Dead, especially since we have a Vesuva to copy it. So I think this is going to be Field of the Dead and... Bojuka Bog isn't really relevant, although Bog stops them from playing a Lurrus and getting back Seal of Fire to kill their own Dark Confidant. But they could always just ping it with Rin instead, so I guess it's not really a relevant line. They have sorcery, land, instant, artifact in their yard, and we have... Oh, well, we can exile the 3 creatures from our graveyard and prevent them from gaining life with their scavenging ooze. That doesn't seem awful. I'm gonna go with that. And then we'll play this as another Field of the Dead. And we'll pass. Bobble, huh? I don't know if they ever played this Blackleaf Cliffs. It could be this one in play, but they might have had this one in play earlier, so I'm not really sure. Lurrus is down. They did use the Pulse on our Titan earlier. I haven't been keeping up with this at all. I'm just going to dismiss them all. Okay, so our Titan is dead. Huh. Well, we might still be in pretty bad shape here. Think. So if we block like this, we can attack with both creatures, and then they either have to trade the Lurrus or lose their Dark Confidant, but then we're taking 6. I think this is probably fine, though. Alternatively, we could take the damage and swing with all 4. They gain 3 up to 6, block with 2 creatures, and take 4 down to 2. Huh. I think I probably want to get this... No, getting Scavenging Ooze out of play doesn't do anything when they have a Lurrus. Hmm. Weird. Alright, I'm just gonna save some life here. And play a little conservatively. Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't realize I had the green mana up anyway, so... Vesuva. Well, do we exile the rest of their graveyard? I don't hate that. Because I laughed initially because that was going to be another copy of Field of the Dead. Let's just send all of them at him, yep. It was going to be another copy of Field of the Dead initially, but then I realized that depending on how they block here, they have to block with the Lurrus. And now we can exile the rest of their yard, shrink their Goyf to a 0/1, and still make 2 zombies out of it. I think that's pretty good. That's what I'm going to go with. Alright. Second Vesuva coming in clutch. They ping me. That can't feel good. We're also covered if they have an Assassin's Trophy because they trophy the field, and we can still pick this up with the bounce land and play it as a copy of Field of the Dead. So, another Scavenging Ooze. Huh. Well, now it's just a matter of top decking a Titan. Well, now it's just a matter of top decking. I don't know. We already used both of our Talari Wests, so probably just Simic Growth Chamber here. Just making 2 zombies a turn seems decent. We can swing with all of our zombies. We probably should have waited on this. Knowing that we use both T-Wests. Yeah, knowing that we use both T-Wests, we probably should have waited on the stirrings. We should have attacked first. Now they just need to have a bolt or something, and they'll be able to kill multiple of our zombies, so we're forced to just play the Growth Chamber and pass. I could pick up the copy of Bajuka Bog. Yeah, I guess that's better than just picking up the exact same Growth Chamber I just played, because we can play this as a copy of Field if we draw a bounce land. So, no point in attacking until we have actual lethal. So, I mean, the only thing that would have punished us is a Maelstrom Pulse, and they already played it, so. Yep. Crumbling Vestige, huh? Well, that one can stay in our hand to protect us from discard spells. So we're going to have 7 attackers to their 4 blockers. So 3 of them get through, that's 6. So that is lethal. We might want to wait 1 return just to play around a couple of removal spells. X-Drink is pretty annoying. This guy becomes 6/6 at his highest level, right? Yeah. Well. Hmm. We might have to play Vesuva as a field, and then plan to attack with everything next turn. Or the turn after, not this upcoming turn. Hmm. This became a very strange game. Attacking with the Scavenging Ooze. They're gonna have 4 blockers to my 7 attackers. That puts us with lethal again. But if they have even a single removal spell, then we get blown out. I could block with 3 zombies and trade one of my tokens for one of their blockers/threats, and that doesn't seem terrible. And this way, even if they have a removal spell, they don't blow me out. And then we can play a field and have 7 zombies again to their 4 blockers, so that gives us 3 that get through, so that would be lethal again. Assuming that they don't, I mean, we're still gonna have leftover zombies from this, so I think this is a fine attack. A fine block. I was thinking it might have been a bad attack on their part, to be honest. Brazier, huh? That's actually not bad. So we have 6. If we attack with everything, then we lose 2. We lose 3 zombies, 4 zombies, get through with 2. Nah. So I'm thinking Vesuva copy field of Royal Grazer Crumbling Vestige into play, and that way we get 6 more zombies into play. And if we attack with everything this turn and lose 4, then we'll have 6, 7, 8 to their 4. We could play around several removal spells, so yeah. I don't know, actually, if attacking with these zombies is the correct line this turn, though. I don't really think that it is. This doesn't play around a Maelstrom Pulse, but frankly, I don't care. And we'll pass. I really don't think there's any point to attacking with these other 6 just to get 2 through. We're just going to lose a bunch, so might as well just wait one more turn. They would have to have 2 burn spells to kill us with this Hex Drinker. Maybe that was their plan in attacking with the Ooze, was hoping that we would take the damage so we'd be dead to a Kolaghan's command. Ah, alright, so we're going to game 2. Alright. We'll bring in our tracker. Didn't see a whole lot of discard from them. I'm sure they have it. I don't know if Baloth is worth it or not. I definitely want explosives. I think I want dismembers as well. I don't know if we want 3 dismembers, though. Counter magic's not good. The question is whether we want Baloths or not. I don't mind 1 Baloth. I mean, I don't know if it's worth having a Baloth in our hand just to play around discard, though. Not discard, but like the Kolaghan's command or something along those lines. Maybe having a Baloth so we can pact for it in response to something isn't the worst. So we get something out of our pact, I guess. I don't know. I don't really love Baloth because it doesn't stack up well against their Goyfs. The life gain isn't particularly relevant, usually. It is a potential clock. If they had Ashioks, then Baloth would be much better since we can clock an Ashiok with it, but they are not going to have Ashiok, presumably because of the Lurrus, so I think trimming a Scout is alright. Well, I mean, they might leave in, or they might side out their Renin 6s, in which case Scout might be a little bit better, but I think Grazer is going to be better than Scout anyways. We'll trim Stirrings. We'll trim 1 Gruul Turf. Let's see. We'll trim an Amulet. I guess maybe just another Amulet. I don't know. Either another Amulet or another Stirrings. I think perhaps it's going to be another Amulet. I do like Stirrings in these types of matchups. Let's go with this. Well, we got an Engineered Explosives hand. We have 2 different Titans here. I don't know. This hand is kind of not doing it for me, to be honest. Because we don't really have any quick ramp at all. We're just going to lose the Summoner's Pact to a discard spell, and then we don't have another blue to transmute TOS until we get the Dryad in play, and then it has to stay in play. They're going to know about the Explosives ahead of time, and Explosives is not, like, going to be ridiculous against them, since they're not, like, playing Death Shadow or anything like that. I feel like this hand is really medium. I'd rather have a hand with, like, an Explorer or something. I don't know if it's greedy to mulligan this or not, though. I'm gonna mulligan, though. I think we can do better. Yeah, I guess this hand is better. And we could bottom the Ghost Quarter, I guess. Because Vestige lets us play our Amulet on 1. Weird bottom. I think it is going to be Ghost Quarter, though. We could lean on Vestige Grazer and put into play the Garrison, or put into play the Garenbrig. And the next one, play Amulet, play Garrison, and that will let us play a 3-drop. So I'm going to bottom the Ghost Quarter, I think. It's very weird. We might just top deck a land, and then all that weirdness gets fixed. I imagine we're going to see a Bobble, us, and then a discard spell. Yep. I wonder what they take here. Probably Amulet, but it's a little close. Now, keeping the vestige definitely plays out better if they take our amulet, because... Ah, they didn't take the amulet. Okay. That's fine as well, I suppose. There's a 3-drop. Unfortunately, now, because we don't have an untapped green source, we can't play this Dryad on turn 2. But that's fine. If we draw a Vesuva, we can copy the vestige, make it green, and then play Dryad. Or any bounce land does it as well, since we have our only non-green bounce land in hand. Any bounce land, any Vesuva. We've got a couple hits here. All right. Another Titan is actually not terrible. We'll play the castle, I suppose, and pass it back. Next turn, if we draw another 3-drop, we can actually play the Dryad and the 3-drop by playing Garrison, using these the 1 from the Garenbrig and 2 from the Garrison, and picking up the Garrison itself to play the Dryad, and then tap our Vestige for green using him, and play the Garrison again to play the 3-drop, and have the Garrison still in hand, so I'm liking that. Although this hand is going to play out really awkwardly if we can't stick in our Dryad, because we need double green for activating Castle Garenbrig. Like, as awkward as it is, I don't know that it's even correct to play out this Boros Garrison, because if they just pillage it, then we're in really bad shape. I mean, we're dead in 3 more turns to this Goyf, but... I mean, an Explorer's a place to start, I guess. This member looks really awkward. Like I said, I don't know if I'm even supposed to play this Garrison, because then we'd have this as a green source, but it's not like we can play 2 lands next turn. Really weird spot. I suppose if we draw a second amulet, we could... No, I don't know. It's just really weird. If we play Garrison and pick up the Vestige, then we could top deck a green bounce land and play... No, we can't top deck a green bounce land and play it, because then you still wouldn't have the double green. Huh. I mean, I think we have to try to increase our mana advantage here, as weird as it is. Oh, we can play the Vestige this turn. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So that way, if we do draw a green bounce land, we can actually play the Titan then. Float a green, and we'll pass. Huh. So we just need a bounce land. Or again, a Vesuva. This feels a lot like a pillage to me. And that is not going to be good news. Yep. I'm not loving this. Not even one bit. We're going to hold on to this Dismember, because if we draw a Bog, then we can potentially kill the Goyf. There's our bounce land. Okay, so this lines up a Titan for next turn. No pillage. No pillage. I hope they just have 3 boils in hand. I would think we're just going to yield to their instep. It's not much that would really cause me to dismember this Tarmogoyf. So. And once we get a Titan in play, then getting Bog plus any other land would, probably a green land, would open the way for us to dismember this Goyf. And then, oh my goodness. We're getting destroyed here, everyone. We'll get a Snow Forest. Yep, it's not looking great. Not looking great in the slightest. I don't know if there's a way for us to stay alive here. Growth Chamber. That is just not gonna do it. Man, I just had every answer. Okay. Well, we're going to game 3. That was a little disheartening, to be honest. Let's see, what could be useful here? Do we still not want Baloths? I mean, Baloth wouldn't have done anything in that game. Is it better than Dismember? I'm not sure. The Amulet looked actually not too bad there. A little reliant on bounce lands, but... Yeah, I don't know if I really want to change anything. It might be better to trim a Dismember and have an Amulet instead, but... I'm just going to run it back. This time we're on the play. Well, I don't know about this one. In the past, I have kept 6 land hands against a Jund deck and been very well rewarded for it. I don't know if this is going to be that case, though. And we have tons of land to play around. To play around a potential like land destruction spell. We can also play through a Damping Sphere. And we have a Chump Walker. I'm gonna keep it just because it deads all of the discard spells. Now, am I gonna put a Growth Chamber into play? That is a good question. I'm not sure yet. I think I will. If I was on the draw, I probably would not, but on the play, I think it's fast enough. Let's see, a turn 1 discard spell. Come on. You know you want to cast it. Who did they target with the bauble? Themselves. I don't know. Aha! We got him! Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. I'm going to go ahead and ignore the chat. Breeding Pool, not the best draw. Let's play our Garenbray, I suppose. I don't know if it matters. Definitely a ballsy keep on my end over here. Just all lands. But believe it or not, sometimes that's good enough to beat Jund, so we'll just have to see. They have a clock. And we have a Titan. They do not need to know that particular information, though. Let's play breeding pool, I think. Gives us a different name for potential Field of the Dead shenanigans. They also know 4 out of the 5 cards in our hand, so if they have a discard spell, they may not cast it. We have a Titan next turn if they do nothing. Okay, so they had a Pillage. I think we can eat a little more damage from this Tarmogoyf than just 3. A Grazer was actually a pretty decent draw here. And we'll play this Ghost Quarter, I suppose. So we're back to having a Titan next turn. Let's not yield, because if they have another Inquisition, then we might want to pack for a Titan. Cycle Barrenmoor. That seems fine. Run in 6. That is also fine. Alright, you got a Bloodstained Mire back. They might still have another discard spell here. Sadly. Looks like they do. Is it an Inquisition? Nope, it's a Thoughtseize. Is there anything that we would want to pack for in response? Because if we packed it for Baloth here, if we had Baloth in deck, then this would force the Baloth into play. But I don't think there's any reason to pack here. We could still just rip a Titan off the top and kill him, so. And I say kill them, but we don't necessarily know that for sure. I'll go ahead and throw a Grazer under the bus for 4 damage. Titan. Azusa. Interesting. Might as well play it. We'll keep the Forest in hand for a draw step, Colligan's Command. Maybe we should have picked up the Garenbrig, actually. Lurrus, okay. Getting back a Bobble, I would presume. Yep. We could actually Ghost Quarter ourselves to make us more likely to top deck a Titan. I don't really know how I feel about that. Let's go ahead and put this Grazer under the bus again. Because we sacrifice these 2, we get a Force. We have 1, 2, 3, and a Garenbrig to activate. Is that worth it? I don't think it is. Because this represents a 5th name, so we can play Forest and play Titan, and immediately trigger Field of the Dead. And that's definitely something I'm interested in. We'll explore. Vesuva is an interesting one. I think we do want to play it. And I think we'll copy our breeding pool. This way we can transmute a Tolari West if we find it. Still holding the Force in hand for the same reason. Oh, looks like we're on the ropes now. We just need to top deck a Titan. And we will most likely be fine. We now have 2 blue sources for T-West as well, so we can get T-West plus bounce land off of Titan entering the battlefield. Although, if they just kill our Titan, then we might actually be dead. So we might be forced to go for a line that gets Field of the Dead. I always pause after I say Field, because I'm trying to remember whether it's Field of Ruin or Field of Field of the Dead. I just paused there too. Playing another Ren is interesting. Oh, to grow their Goyf. Okay. Hmm. All right, we need a Titan deck. Deliver. Titan. Titan. Uh. Yeah, we're just dead. All right. Rest in peace. Would we have gotten there? Nope. We were not getting there. Huh. Well, that's a shame. So, anyways, that was match 1. Do you think I should have mulliganed that last hand? Let me know. I actually think it's a little bit close. Maybe against the John versions that didn't play Lurrus, it made more sense to keep a hand like that, since they have no real way of recouping the lost card advantage from dead discard spells. But since Lurrus can just replay a bobble every turn, maybe it's not the wisest plan against the Lurrus John matchup. Like, all it took for him to be able to beat me was that one Thoughtseize, because he was drawing so many cards with the bobble anyways that he had all the threats that he needed access to. So, I mean, I don't know. If he didn't have that Thoughtseize, though, then it would have worked out for us. If he had Inquisition even, then we probably would have gotten there with the Summoners pack. So, I don't know. But yeah, anyways, I will see you guys for match 2. This is Red Face Menace, signing off.